What's up guys and welcome back to On the Brick. Today I have something for you that is a little quicker and a little shorter, and that's in part because there's just not that much to talk about here, and also because when I'm making this video it is my mom's birthday and I want to go spend the day with her. So without further ado, what I have for you today are the blind bag decal sheets from JonakToys. And while these are a blind bag, it's not really that much of a mystery as to what you get inside, because on the page listing it very clearly states that you get one exclusive, one named clone, and 3 grunt troopers. And it even lists all of the possible exclusive items that you could get. And right off the bat, let me just say that you are getting 5 decals for $5, including that exclusive one. However, just to make sure I'm not misleading anyone here, I want to be perfectly clear. These are all decals of Jonak's own design. And if you don't know what that means, Jonak's designs are far simpler than anything from like AV Figures or Teo's Lego Garage, and that is a very intentional decision as Jonak wants his designs to look more like what Lego would actually put out. Basically, don't go into this expecting to come out with like an AV Figures Doom decal, because that's not even an option. So what do you get inside of this small bag? Well, let's open up and find out what I got. So opening these up is actually a very simple thing to do, but for some reason getting them out proved more difficult than I expected it to be. That's nothing against JonakToys or anything, it honestly just took me longer than it should have to get these out, and I wanted to share that. Anyway, here they finally are. To start off with, I have an RP2 327th grunt, or a realistic phase 2 327th grunt. It's a pretty basic design, but again, that's the point. Up next, we have a regular RP2 grunt, this one with no special designs or coloring of any sort. Moving on to the third decal, we have the AP1 Coruscant Guard. While I am not entirely certain what the A stands for, you can clearly tell that this is a phase 1 trooper. Those are the 3 nameless grunts, which means that these last 2 should be the named soldier and the exclusive. And that is correct, because up next is AP1 Commander Fox. We're going to take a closer look at this one specifically in just a second, but lastly, I received the limited edition prototype AP2 Cody, with this one being number 22 out of 50. So right off the bat, that is what you get. So if at this point you're still not certain if you want to buy this, then you already have your answer. And for a $5 price tag, it's not that bad at all. But this is what to expect when purchasing it. Now there is one thing I personally really appreciate, but I don't know how common of an experience this would be. I love that not only did I get Fox, but I got one of his troopers as well. That's really awesome, actually. Unfortunately, I don't own any phase 1 troopers to decal, which is why I haven't, but if I did, I absolutely would have. In fact, this makes me wonder why people don't sell like decal Legion packs. Anyway, I do happen to own the official Lego phase 1 Fox, and since Jonak is essentially attempting to replicate these, I thought I would compare them. And right off the bat, you can see that the helmet matches pretty perfectly, actually. Of course, he also made sure to include the red stripe on the top, and then these like black slanted lines that go on either side of the helmet. There's more about that in a second though. If we take a closer look at the torso though, we can see that there is a bit of a difference here. And surprisingly, I actually prefer JonakToys version. I'm not even certain why the official Lego version has the gray area in the center when that's not part of the character, but take that as you will. A quick comparison of the back shows that these are exactly the same as well. Basically, Jonak did a really good job recapturing this in decal form, and he also included decals for the legs, which are not included with Lego. Do remember, if you decal this, you won't have the red arms. As I'm sure you saw in the background, I did decal the 2 phase 2 grunts. The plain and normal grunt is exactly that. There's not too much detail on this guy at all, and that's fine. Also, yes, I know I messed up the legs. The back is a little off, but that's on me. I'm still getting used to decaling. Besides that though, you can see again again that it looks pretty normal. However, this little chip in the visor of the helmet did happen when I was applying the decal and wasn't really something that I did. I was just moving it into place and that happened. Thankfully, it's not really that big of a deal. But I do need to say that even though the side vents here all come in one piece, you're supposed to apply at the same time, both of these figures I had to cut them up because they were just too big. Way too big. They don't fit on these helmets at all. But I still made it work, obviously. I do like this other figure just a little bit more because of the variation in colors. And there's really not that much details on these things. I personally am not really a fan of that. I prefer the more detailed looks of other decalers and custom makers. But I've also received quite a few comments from people saying that places like Clone Army Customs are too complicated, or that things like AV Figures decals are too detailed. So to the people who don't want the extra detail and really just want figures that look exactly like Lego, then I think these are perfectly fine for you. Oh, but I do need to point out that the back got ruined when I was sealing this. Despite still being pretty new to decaling, I have done about 50 or 60 figures now, and this is the only time that any of them have ever been ruined. So with this and the chip in the helmet of the other one, I am a little worried as to the quality of the decals themselves, but then again, you are also only paying $1 for them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not dissatisfied with this at all. For only $5, I got 2 troopers that I made, 2 more that I want to make, and the limited edition thing that I'm not going to touch at all. Part of that is because I don't want to ruin it, and part of that is because I just think it looks cool. Anyway, that's all I have to say about these guys. Again, for $5, it's not a bad deal at all if this is something that you are interested in. Or if you are interested in supporting the channel, then you can always check out my new merch. I'm really excited to have all of this out there, and you can find the link to all of this in the description down below. Or if you want to support me more directly, you can check out my Patreon. Again, a huge thanks to both Jonathan and Jaden for supporting me at the $10 purple stud level, and of course to everyone else who has continued their support. I originally had a completely different video planned for today. This one wasn't going to come out for like another month, but like I said, I've been receiving a lot of requests for this or things like this. Do let me know what you would like to see in the comments down below. Please do remember to like this video if you liked what you saw, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm off to spend what is hopefully going to be a wonderful day with my mother. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.